Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, Mr. Mike Omeri, the Director General, National Orientation Agency, is our guest on Question Time. Could you shed more light on the probe of super rich civil servants?
Well, I have always campaigned against this and brought it to the knowledge of authorities here and there. You see, there are some public servants who have no known means of production other than public service. You check from up to down, they are neither farmers, today they neither had any business other than public work. None of their relations is doing that, and yet they are stupendously rich from sources you don't understand, acquiring all of those things. And you see even semblance of taking advantage of, your office, in the sense that you hear big monies go into a particular office and nothing comes out for public good. But you see the officers within the offices, becoming bigger than the office.
Now, from the benefit of hindsight now, would you say the previous administration was a corrupt administration?
We need a precedence of checking what has always happened in the past. I would not categorically say it was corrupt or not until the outcome of an investigation proves that they are corrupt. If they are corrupt, we all say so. If I'm corrupt, it should be said so. But to begin to say they are corrupt doesn't. Mr. President is not doing this to witch hunt or to just because he wants to check, okay, specific individuals or certain peoples within the government. You check when, at the end of it, you should be able to ascertain the level, whether corruption actually existed and who is involved and the extent to which it was carried out.
We've also heard reports by some national leaders calling on Mr. President to respect the peace accord signed during the elections. So is the peace accord still relevant in this context?
The peace accord is to ensure that our country remains in peace, and it was essentially for the period of the elections where tensions were high and so forth and so on. And ordinarily it should be part of our culture to seek for peace, to build it, and to keep it. So I don't understand what peace accord is, because the president is not at war. He's not carrying guns. He's not inciting people to fighting anybody within or outside government. At least this much I can say. I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
We understand that part of the peace accord was not to probe the outgoing administration.
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. And then what is that? On that, I don't think even Buhari is right, because he cannot take that kind of decision on behalf of the Nigerian people. This is what the Nigerian people want to see. So one individual cannot throw that away because he wants power. Okay? Nigerian people want to see things done right. And that is why they vote for leadership that will help them get things done right. And you cannot sacrifice it on the altar of your ambition. It's not possible.
Now, it's been some time in office now, and the president is yet to appoint his ministers. Isn't this slowing down the wheel of governance?
But he has commented on it, and he said also that he's working on certain specific things. He has continuously engaged with the public one way or the other through his media persons and himself personally. He has addressed youths. He has addressed a number of functions that we are seeing. So it is not as if all quiet, all slow, and no work. We have seen his engagement with neighbors. We have seen engagement with back home with the military and other authorities and agencies related to the fight against terror, which is a major issue.
Now, you seem to have a lot to show for the federal government's efforts in ending insurgency. Now, Mr. President has vowed and has promised Nigerians that the insurgency war would end this December. Do you share in Mr. President's optimism?
Personally, I know terrorism is difficult to stamp out in any country. Personally, because I have done a lot of studies. I'm currently doing more studies on terrorism and insurgency worldwide. But there is the extent to which military or government action can go. That is to making sure that the major elements that incite or fan or even radicalize people, to that kind of tendency are taken in, de-radicalized, reorganized, and rehabilitated. That much, it is very possible. And apart from that, it is also possible that the military will help rid the area of lethal weapons that are in the hands of terrorists, which they use to destroy human beings, human life, property, and other natural endowments.
How do you say the federal government's multilateral approach in tackling insurgency?
That is the way to go in fighting terror. Terror is a global challenge, and no one country can fight it alone. Even great powers who thought they could handle it alone sooner than later realized that they need coalitions around the world to face terror. Because it grows in cells, it grows in small groups, okay? Terrorists can be your neighbors, they can be embedded in your community, you would not know. So you cannot. And someone can commit a terrorist assignment here and lives in another country or in another community. So the earlier the rest of the world realize that this terror is a generational issue that we must face, because the other generations have had wars, First World War, Second World War. This is the challenge of this generation, and we must stand up together as one community to face it. We should not live in self-denial.
You can also be part of this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, what is the possibility of ending insurgency in 3 months? Find out when we come back. Don't go away.